What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Classic dropping the video today. I'm truly grateful for another day. This is the day the Lord has made. Nobody tells you today. I love you. God loves you. I pray you guys have a wonderful day. Um, Trying to do more consistent videos. So I did watch Survivor Series 2021 last night. I'm not gonna lie. Just like a lot of other people, I forgot it was even happening until I checked Wednesday of last week. Um, I've been watching clips and promos and like the matches set up and everything, but I had no idea. I don't know if it's because of the climate of wrestling or the people being released, or I just don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, a lot of people are trying to not watch it, but still watch it, but don't want to tell people that they still watch the product because they're upset with a lot of things. But I did watch it, and this is my review and my recap. These matches may or may not be in order because I'm just going off the dome. I can start with the pre-show match, Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It was something. I was expecting a little bit better between both of them. I know that they are high on Damian Priest. I don't know, the energy was a little off. You know, I know that Damian went to had an interview or something. He spoke about like how it's kind of nerve-wracking and scary to be wrestling now because of the string of releases and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's Damian's fault. It might have been Shinsuke. I don't know. It was just something that's a little bit off. You know, this was something that I was expecting to possibly be match of the night, and then it got to pre-show. Who knows? That could have changed it. You know, that could have. You know, Damian wins when he hits Shinsuke with Boog's V guitar. He hit Boog's first. I think that's how you say his name. It was okay. To me, it could have been better. First match on the official show was Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, SmackDown Women's Champion versus the Raw Women's Champion. Despite the fact of rumors, and this is why I try to stay away from people who saying they're hearing things from backstage officials or whatever like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take away from people's sources and stuff like that, but things do change, and sometimes people just say anything just so people can talk. You know, the rumor or the assumption was Roman and Big E were gonna go first, and then Charlotte and Becky was gonna be the main event. They didn't. I'm glad they didn't. You know, personally, um, I like the match. I enjoyed it. Regardless, you know, a lot of people talk about WWE's compulsive rematches and tree matches. Yeah, I just made up tree matches as in three rematches. A lot of DQs and roll ups, which ironically this was one with a roll up. These two women deliver. You know, these two women do deliver. I would have expected something else different. You know, I know we've seen Bianca and Charlotte. I would have liked to see that again. You know, um, with the four horsewomen, you know, I don't want to say they've run their course, but man, they've been at the top, and it's just like, okay, it'd have been cool to see something else. But the wrestling and the chemistry was very good. A lot of people talked about Charlotte's two braids, which was very funny, and it was very, very random. Like, okay, uh, Becky Lynch came looking like an acrylic nail salon nail with the knee high. I don't know if they were boots or knee pad covers and all the red and stuff like that. She looked like a nail from the salon, or she looked like she stole those from Luther from AEW. If you guys know, he wears stuff like that. It's funny. Good match, great chemistry. I know a lot of people, man, those boos were heavy for Charlotte. Oh my goodness, they were heavy. You know, I think this kind of has run its course. They'll probably do a rematch or something like that. I think it's run its course about how, you know, the alleged incident that happened and then how they built it up. They did a great promo package. They did. So, good match. What was next? Was it the men? Yeah, it was the men's. I believe it was the men's tag team match for Survivor Series. Um, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was pretty good. I'm trying to think about anything that I didn't like. Oh, okay. Kevin Owens doing a count out because Seth did it last year. Just left the team hanging. That was funny, obviously. Um, I didn't like the count out between Drew and Bobby Lashley because we just had a count out. So I didn't like that. You see that they're gonna pick up Drew versus Bobby, so you know that Bobby most likely going to lose against Drew, so Drew can get his lick back or his win back from all the stuff of not being able to challenge for the title. So I don't know how they're going to do it because they're on two different brands, but it's WWE. Like, what do you expect? You got a lot of things from Austin Theory. So, like, if you didn't know who he was, you kind of know who he is now. I loved his rolling shotgun drop kick that he gave to Sheamus. I thought that was, yeah, that was pretty good. Um, at the near the end of the match, Sheamus attacks Jeff Hardy, and that's just the theme of Survivor Series team for the past few years is somebody is going to attack the other person, or if people get eliminated, they're going to attack the opponents or anybody else that's in the ring. It was solid action. It was good to see Jeff Hardy, just a gem to everybody. Jeff Hardy's just a gem. I'm trying to think of anything significant happened. Seth Rollins with the drip, of course. Follow the drip, follow the drip. Very good match. Couple things I would have changed, obviously. They did make Bobby Lashley look like a beast. I wish Xavier Woods would have stayed in a little bit longer. But obviously him winning the King of the Ring, which I'm happy he did win, by the way, was just more of a setup for Biggie and Roman. Was it the Rock Battle Royal? I think that was next. I was in and out of it. It was interesting for a few seconds, but then it was like, it's a battle royal. Now, nothing against battle royals. I actually like the Royal Rumble, but I kind of knew like nothing was going to happen from this. Omos won. The most interesting thing was when AJ was about to be eliminated and Omos was holding him, and then everybody was attacking Omos, and then he accidentally let AJ go. But other than that, you know, the pizza spots and all of that stuff, this could have actually been on a pre-show. And I think that people need to realize that, you know, sometimes the WWE's placement on matches be off. See, the thing with this was, you know, we already have like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, we had a Royal Rumble, we have things that they do in Saudi Arabia, the women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Like, we have a lot of these, and, you know, to give a tribute to The Rock, which I'm sure you guys are grateful because, you know, he's The Rock. A Battle Royal, it could have been something else. It could have been something different than a Battle Royal. But, you know, could have been I would have said tournament, but we just got out of the Queen's Court, whatever, and King of the Ring. So, oh, it could have did something a little bit better. I'm just sick of Battle Royals. What's next? Was it it was the Raw Tag Team Champions versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The Usos versus Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. And now Orton has the most pay-per-view matches ever, and kudos, and you get your flowers, sir. And I thought it was pretty dope that the crowd gave Randy Orton his flowers while he was wrestling. A lot of us, regardless, called him Anti-Cena, called him robotic, we called him a whole bunch of things throughout these years. But this man knows how to change his character, whether he's the Viper, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, all that. Nothing you can say till I hear voices in my head. That's the last time you're probably going to hear me singing. You know, and tag team partner Riddle with the yellow toenail polish, no comment. Usos, of course, Usos, which are the Usos. So when you have these four guys, they had a very good match. The crowd was invested in it. Nothing was taken away from the previous matches. So the pacing was good, but the matches were off on the order of the whole card to me. But it was very good. The RKO that he gave, I forgot which Uso. After he gave him the RKO while he splashed Riddle. That was a very good match. That was a very good time, and that was very good spot. I wish Riddle would have really like sold it a little bit more to Splash, because he did get splashed. But they made it seem like, I guess he was lighting the blow. Orton lighting the blow for him when he gave the Uso the RKO, and that was a very impressive RKO. But it was a very good match. Besides, like, the sponsorship from Red Notice, which I will be watching, and Vince rolling up with an egg, and that was the only object that actually made a surprise appearance, if you know what I'm saying. It was okay. I mean, like I said, it's a sponsorship. Netflix is one of the biggest streaming services, if not the biggest streaming service. So, sometimes it's corny and sometimes it's not. I think that it's a lot of hypocrisy when it goes to this. A lot of people need to understand that wrestling should try to get new fans. And you want people to look at the people that are paying for these sponsorships and stuff like that. So WWE is still the number one, and it has time to change, but it's a long way to go. The next match was the women's Raw and SmackDown teams going against each other, with Bianca Belair being the sole survivor. Once again, that's just a theme of Survivor Series matches dang near now. It was okay. They made, oh my god, Bianca was just so awesome. Sasha was awesome. Shayna was pretty dope. Tony, a lot of women had some good things in it. The pacing, once again, it's just the matches. The pacing was off. There was one part where they were waiting for Sasha to do something, but I think somebody missed their cue. Like, they literally were in Sasha's corner. They were beating up Sasha, and you seen Shayna, you seen Tony, you seen Shotzi. They were like kneeling in the corner, and it was like, even the commentators, they didn't want to look stupid themselves. They're like, well, what are they doing? And it literally was like, they were literally just kneeling, Kaepernick style. So I believe Tony got up, or Shotzi, I forgot. They just tagged, but it was just so awkward to see that, and it made Sasha look bad too. Now, I don't know if they were trying to do the thing where, because Sasha gets eliminated because she becomes bossy towards everybody, and then they start pulling her out the ring, and then she didn't make the count, which I said is a theme for Survivor Series matches now, is that they have to have a count out on the men and the women's match. I would have considered she made the count because she was actually halfway under the rope, well, dang near under the ropes. But I don't know if that's what that was or not, but it just seems like a missed spot. At one point, wasn't it like 4 versus 1 with Bianca? And Bianca overcame the odds and actually won. She beat Shotzi as a lone survivor for her team, and it was pretty good for Bianca. I want to say this: Bianca, this is her year. This was her year. Even though she's not a champion now, you got to give credit for her to do better on her promos and her ring work, and then you can tell that so many people like that. Now, I'm going to go there. A lot of people do not understand how great it is to see a woman of color just be so dominant in such short notice. Sasha did it as well, and Bianca's doing it too. So a lot of people say that WWE is pandering to the black audience, and that's your opinion. One company doesn't do anything at all for the black audience sometimes. So Bianca, you can tell that she is going to be a star. She will be a main eventer for a long time. She could tell she cares about the business, all the PR that she does, the interviews and everything like that. She is something else. I've never, besides Sasha, but more so Bianca, you see so many black children dress up like her, and then people from all over the world, wherever they come from, color, orientation, religion, they just love Bianca. So I was elated to see that she won. A lot of people were mad that it was 4 against 1, but they've had men kind of do the same thing, and it was no problem. Main event time. I hope I'm not forgetting the match. Main event time is Roman Reigns versus Big E. And the anticipation was more for the end of the match than the actual match, because they were talking about The Rock. He talked to Vince a little bit about The Rock, but then they talked about that dumb egg that got stolen. And I think a lot of people's interest in the match was over because people knew that Roman was going to win at the end of the day. Me, I watched the match. The match was very, very good. I think it did good for both guys. We did know because Roman is just that dude. Big E is showing that he can be that dude. But the thing is, as long as Roman is the champ, you can tell what WWE is trying to do. And my thing is, if this is going to be a setup for The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I'm all for it. It was a lot of spot. Man, it was a scary spot when Big E gave Roman that spear. The way Roman took the spear through the ropes, he didn't like land on his back, he landed on his legs. And it made me jump because I was scared for Roman's legs. Roman being more comfortable as a heel, talking to the crowd, talking to the city, talking to Brooklyn. Like, these are things that I like for a bad guy to do. Is when you're so dominant, you're talking to the crowd. So many people just be focused on wrestling, but you have to work the crowd. And there's a difference between workers and wrestlers, and I've said that a lot. And I think Roman's done a great job. I think Big E done a great job when he got up, when Roman was screaming. Like, it was intense, and you don't see a lot of intense matches like that. It's good to see an intense and an emotional match. Roman wins after spearing Big E, working on the leg that I thought he actually hurt, and that was the end of the match. And a lot of people probably was like, okay, here comes The Rock, here comes The Rock, here comes The Rock. Then Roman gets his belt, here comes The Rock, here comes The Rock. Then Roman jumps off the apron, here comes The Rock, here comes The Rock. He's walking, he's walking, he's walking, here comes The Rock, here comes The Rock. Then they say, thank you for paying or watching Survivor Series event, good night. So you're like, maybe The Rock will come in after that, and then it fades to black. And then they start a promo for Charlotte Flair. Look, let me say this. They didn't promise The Rock was going to be there. So, I know a lot of people, we want certain things. Now, that would have been dope to me to see The Rock come back celebrating his 25th. You know, we're talking about his movie all day throughout the show. Roman is Roman, his cousin. Even Paul was saying small things about like Yokozuna and stuff like that, his family and all of that stuff. So it would have been dope just to see like The Rock come out. But it just wasn't delivered. I don't know if he was busy. I don't know if they're saving it for Raw, because people got to realize they want people to watch Raw as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock does show up. They didn't promise people. So, you know, this is just another reason for people to get mad at WWE. You know, I'm not, you know, it was a good opportunity to, but it's just another way for people to get mad. As far as the pay-per-view goes, I'd give it a... if I had to grade it, I'd give it like a B- or a C+, honestly. I think with these Survivor Series matches, which, by the way, Survivor Series is one of my favorite matches. I think that they start off great, especially with the men's match, but then like stuff just gets scrambled. Like there's always going to have to be a count out apparently, and two people are going to always have to be counted. I remember, was it last year or the year before, Bianca and I believe Nia Jax were wrestling, and then they had a double count out, and it's just like, to me, it's always something. Somebody walks out, somebody turns on it, and this is the thing. This is more than one thing that happens at each event. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 things always happen. And it's like, I understand you're trying to protect people, you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that because they have things that they have to do. But at the same time, please do something different. That's it. All you have to do is do something different sometimes. So that's why it's not as high as it should have been. I think like some of the wins, like, you know, sometimes people remember the wins than the actual match. Because you see me, I'm trying to think of everything. Especially because I watched it last night and I went to sleep afterwards. So it was okay. So just wanted to like give a small recap. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to do more content. Maybe I'll drop a video tomorrow on Wednesday. You celebrate the holidays, happy holidays. If you don't celebrate the holidays, still love you, still love. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.